think every good question she said, so I will type those up and put.
Okay. If you're watching this recording, just FYI, I forgot to hit the record button until Michelle reminded me just now. But we're 30 minutes into the call and we've talked about a lot. Jana is asking questions about just different buckets of people that she has shared the opportunity with, but they've told her no for various reasons. Also, we talked through um, one girl who has 2 joins already, but doesn't really have a sense of urgency. So we talked about connecting with her why, asking good questions, like how is it going to feel when that the 2 joins that you've gotten so far, you have an extra $60 that pops up in your account. How does it feel to see that direct deposit there? How does it feel that you've already helped 2 people? How would it feel if you had an extra $300 pop up in your account? And what would that money mean to you? Like, what would you do with it? So she's got to connect with her why to get her to take uncomfortable action. And the action is uncomfortable because you have to put yourself out there in order to get customers, right? And oftentimes people have mindset issues that hold them back, like guilt that they're making money off their friends, or fear of what people think, or like there's various things that people think or believe that make bringing plexus up uncomfortable. But if she had a strong why to connect with, then she would be willing to take the uncomfortable action. So that was the first thing we talked about. And then we talked about what to do with the people that she had, their customers. She's talked to them about the business. They told her no, they were not interested because they didn't have time. And so I told her to ask them how much time do they think it would take. And usually people are wrong when they assume how much time it would take. And then overcome the objection by asking, do you have an hour a day? Do you have 4 15-minute pockets of time that you could find each day to do this to make money? And what amount of money would make that 1 hour a day worth it for you to commit to that? So just some questions to ask to connect with people's why, to overcome their objections. And then we needed to talk about, what was the other thing we need to talk about, Jenna? How to follow up with people who've previously told you no?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So it depends on why they said no. But if they told you no because they don't have time, then um I when the new incentive comes out for October, then I would probably revisit them and say, "Hey, I know that we talked a little bit about you sharing these products before and making a little bit of extra money with this, and your concern was that you just wouldn't have time to do it. I don't know if anything's changed for this month, but I just wanted to let you know that it would be super simple to make an extra $300 or $400 this month. All you would need to do is help 3 people, and I can easily help you do that. What are your thoughts?" So I just would revisit it. Or that's one option. Another option is follow up with somebody who is like them, like a story from about somebody who is like them, who, they're crazy busy because they got XYZ going on, but they just hit silver and made X amount of dollars. Or they just hit ruby and they're making, average monthly income of this or that. Whatever you want to, whatever potential you want to speak to for that person, like if it's somebody they could blow it up if they did this, then I probably would be following up with bigger vision. But if it's somebody you're looking at them and you're thinking, I think they could go gold, then I would be following up with, somebody who went gold, or maybe even follow up with baby steps, um, like somebody who went silver and they made $300 in their first 30 days. So just to recap, one option is go and just revisit the time objection to see if this might be a better time to make $300 or $400. Another option is go and revisit this conversation by sharing with them a story of somebody who is like them, who um was, they're also crazy busy because they have a full-time job, or they have a million kids or like whatever, they're busy, but they just went silver and made X amount of dollars and did it in, not a lot of time. So those are two options for you to revisit those conversations of people who've given you the time objection. Do you have other objections? Like people who are that you have talked to about the business and they've said no, but it's for something besides time?
Um, no, it is usually time. I mean, I have a few people that don't say time, period. They say time right now,
Mm-hmm.
which would still be the same approach. I don't think I have anyone I mean, I can tell sometimes people, well, most of the time people say time and it's their belief, but no, I can't think of another. It is usually time. The people that I want to do this business, that
Okay.
is their excuse, primary.
So when you are sharing a story with somebody about somebody who was busy, but they just hit silver or whatever rank, they achieved XYZ, um, just make sure you remind them that the people in this business who are the most successful, they're always the busiest people. Just make sure you remind them of that. And then you remind them also of why you think they specifically could be successful at it. So like the one that you were talking about, she's raised three amazing daughters and she's influential, you just remind her like the reason why I know you could do this if you decided to is because you're a person of high integrity. People trust you and you've spent your life investing in relationships. You have proven like fruit in your life from like your girls are a testament to what a good mother you are, and like you have a lot of wisdom, and I just people trust you, and that has put you in a position to be able to help a lot of people and just kind of reap the rewards of what you've sown the last X amount of years. So there's kind of three components there. One is storytelling. The other one is um handling their objection about not having enough time by telling them the most successful people here are the busiest ones, and then building her belief by calling out her qualities specifically. So there's like three components there. All right. Anything else, Jana?
I think the last funnel would just be, of course, continuing to grow. Well, continue to recruit for the purpose of getting people on the products and then talking about the business. But this has been super helpful. Thank you.
Okay. So people you're leading with the business on, you're saying?
Well, I mean, I don't lead with the business a lot, but I do have, I have one currently that I can think of, but sometimes I lead with the business, but most of the time it is the products.
Okay.
But
So what
but when I'm leading, well, this one person, we could talk about this one person. So she needs the money. She has dreams. I can tell is she has like a go-getter personality. She's a single mom. Uh, she's very kind and she's fun. Just in the few conversations we've had, she's a teacher or parapro at the boys' school, or the boys we're fostering. I really enjoy conversations with her. Easy to talk to. And I've told her these things. And I'm still getting to know her.
Okay.
There's a lot about her I don't know yet.
Yeah. So if well, you could default to the products. You could try to get her on the products first, but if you're saying money is an issue, and she's a single mom, then what I would do is the same three things that I just expressed. So storytelling, and who comes to mind for me when you're saying all that is Tiffany. What is her last name? She's under Michelle Riles. You know what I'm talking about? She just went senior
Mhm.
gold. She went senior gold
Yes.
really quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, she could not
Jordan, is it
afford the
Tiffany
product.
Jordan? Yeah.
Yes, Tiffany Jordan. So we have that team call recorded where she shared how she could not afford the products at all. But she just started, like, she just got desperate to feel better because she had really bad anxiety, and she basically found the money and started on the products, and then she posted about it, and she just generated interest because people that knew her, they knew her struggles with anxiety, and so the fact that she's on there talking about how this helped her and people knew her struggle, she I mean, she just had credibility with that. And so I would share a story with her of somebody who's like her that she would be able to relate to. Um, Other single moms, I mean, we have a bunch, but Fallon was a single mom. Rebecca Folks was a single mom. Um, if y'all know of any other single moms, put it in the chat, please. But those are the ones that come to mind for me. Um, and then again, it would be telling, like, handling the objection. So her objection, I don't know what her objection is. Is she saying time? Is she saying what is she saying?
She's not really objecting. She had never heard of Plexus. So she asked me to send her some information. She has looked at some, but not really commented yet. She's open.
When she
But
when
the
she said
last
send her information, what did you send?
well, since she didn't know anything about Plexus, I really just kind of told her what it was. Let me look. Let me see what I did. I sent her Jessica Heffley's business opportunity video.
Perfect. That was exactly what you were supposed to send. So
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
didn't
Yay,
do that,
yay.
I was gonna say, well, you should have done that, Jenna. I'm
Yeah.
kidding. No, that's
And then,
exactly what you should have sent. Okay, great. So
yeah.
then what did she say?
She said she would watch it, but she hasn't yet.
Okay.
Well, if she has, because I forgot what we did before was just talk about, we kind of connected after I talked with her at the school. We connected about fostering. We had some commonalities there. And so we shared, and then she was like, yeah, I'd like to hear more about this. And so I sent her that, and she hasn't responded.
Okay.
And I did invite her to Christina's event yesterday.
Okay.
And Abby and April and Christina.
She didn't get on.
No, I mean, I don't know. I doubt it because she's at school. So she
Okay,
probably,
got it. All
so
right.
how should I continue this conversation?
Well, you may have given her too much at once.
Okay. Should I have just waited
I
after she
mean,
didn't
it depends
respond?
on not wait too long. I don't know when you sent her Heffley's video.
Let's see. So last week,
And then how long did you wait before you checked back in to see if she had watched it?
4 days,
Too
and she
long.
didn't responded.
Too
Okay.
long. Yeah, you got to
Okay.
check back in like same day. Or you can, when you send the video, or even before you send it, even you could ask, this video is like 6 minutes.
Mhm. I
How
did say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you say this video is like 6 minutes? When do you think you'll have a chance to watch it? Do you think you could watch it today?
I didn't ask her when do you think you'll have a chance, but I did say
Okay.
you think you have
So
a chance to
yeah,
watch it.
you let her set the follow-up time
Okay.
by asking her, this video is 6 minutes long. When do you think you'll have a chance to check it out? But so that's just going forward, just a tip for going forward. But you waited 4 days, so that was definitely too long because now you've let the conversation fizzle.
Okay.
Um, So going forward, you want to let her set the follow-up time by telling you when she could have 6 minutes to watch it, and then you check back in whenever she said she would for sure have watched it by then. But then, so after 4 days, then you popped in and invited her to the event?
No, I just popped in to check on her, but she didn't respond. So
Oh,
then I invited her to the event, but still.
okay, that's fine. I mean,
Okay.
I think that's fine. That wasn't too much at once.
Okay.
If 4 days went by and you hadn't talked to her, I mean, I think that was appropriate. Like, I think then a good next step would be she didn't respond about the video, so now what do I do? Invite her to an event, you know. So she's open, it sounds like, but she's not responding. So
Yeah.
now going forward, what's the last thing that's been said? You
I
invite her
just
to the
invited her to
event?
the event
Okay.
yesterday. That's it.
And she didn't respond to that.
No, but she saw it.
Okay. So I think I would go back to Heffley's video.
Okay.
That's what I would personally do. I probably would bring that back up. Hey, did you have a sec to check, or did you have 6 minutes to check out that video? Was very curious what your thoughts are. That, and then also I'd drop a story. I'd say, I just came across this. It made me think of you. And I really believe you could do this because you are XYZ qualities. So drop a story, ask her thoughts on the Heffley video, remind her specifically of why you think she has potential. And you know, you can go in that Dare to Dream group and find biz stories. Okay. Or you could also send, well, since you've already sent a video at this point, I would send something written. You don't want to like send another video if she hasn't even watched the first video. So I would send something written, and then maybe that'll, you know, if you send those three things, like, hey, came across this and thought of you, a written story, and then you ask about Heffley's video if she's watched it, and then remind her why you think she could be great at it. Those three things right there, she should at least respond.
Okay.
Even if she responds with, it's just not a good time, you know, she should at least respond. If she does not respond, this is not somebody on the product, right? If she does
No.
not respond, I'd wait until the October incentives come out, and I would pop back in and say, listen, I don't want to bug you. I promise I don't, but I know this could be a blessing to you, and so just putting it out there, you could earn up to X amount of dollars this month. What are your thoughts? And if she still doesn't respond, then you follow up in a month.
Okay.
All right, and I see any other thoughts, Jana, on that?
No. It's been
Okay.
great. Very
All
helpful.
right.
Thank you.
I see your question in the chat, Nina. What about people who say yes and then something comes up? Well, I think if they say yes and then something comes up, what that means is they're interested, but they don't, they lack belief, because unless they had like a death in the family or something like that is like all consuming, you know, or like they're moving, you know, something major, they had a baby. Things do come up that feel consuming, but they're interested. So I think it's the same thing. You just keep following up in the way I just described to Jana. Like, those three components make a good follow up to somebody who's open and interested about the business. It's drop a story, remind them, like, handle their objection, whatever it was, whether it's busy or they don't know that many people, or, you know, whatever, they don't want to be they're not good at sales, whatever the objection is. And then you call out specifically why you think they'd be good at it. I think still those three components. If something came up, they just basically they're not prioritizing this yet, and it's usually because they don't believe that this is going to be worth their time yet. They don't have full belief, but you can get them there if you follow up with those three components consistently. Um, and I mean, Christina comes to mind because she was one, like, there were times I followed up with her for over a year about the business, and this was after she loved the products. But there were times where she would respond. I want to say one or two times where she actually did respond and say, "Yeah, I am interested. What do I need to do?" And then she wouldn't respond anymore after that. So I would continue to, I just would ignore the fact that I was being ignored, and I just would remind her of her potential the next month, or like whatever timing felt appropriate. There were times where she didn't respond at all. There were times where, like I said, she responded and said, "Yeah, I'd like to do that," and then did nothing. And then finally she was interested and she went all in. So you just have to not just be unwilling to give up on somebody's potential.
So the reason I'm asking about this one, and I've had those, this is someone who I feel like I've gone way far with her. I know a lot about what's going on, and what came up is she's starting a nonprofit, and so she got funding for that. And so now all of her efforts have been shifted to that.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about it. I don't know exactly what it is because she hasn't answered me yet. So my thoughts are, one, I want to talk with her about how this can support or help support, how we could do it to support her nonprofit. The other thing, though, that I don't want to leave on the table is we talk specifically about the people that she's going to be talking with. And I know her, I've been in the family for a very long time. And so there's like two nieces and sisters and so forth. And my thing now is, well, can I help them while you are doing that so that they can begin and get going as well? A couple of business builders and things like that. So that's kind of my approach. But I guess I don't want to overwhelm, but I feel like that's something I shouldn't just let lay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a tap rooting. She loves her products, has been using them for months. But the timing issue, I mean, I'm sure is true. You know, she works a full-time job and now the nonprofit, but we talk specifically about the different people and what they need and what the things are. And I would love to be able to kind of get into that part and kind of help build the business up. Is that a good approach, or?
Yeah, that's really helpful context. So thanks for sharing all that. All right, here's my thoughts on this situation. So there's a reason why she's devoting time and energy and brain space and resources to the nonprofit. It's meeting some kind of need in her life. Like, she's driven to do that for some reason or another. And it's meeting a need. Like, it's actually filling her cup in that regard. And so it sounds like it could actually be a timing issue for her. Um and I probably would respect that and just revisit the conversation when things kind of settle down. Because if she just started like a big new project and it's like meeting all her needs, she's excited about it, it's fulfilling her, she feels rewarded, like it's fun, then she's probably not going to be willing to make capacity for a new thing if that project is currently meeting all of her needs. But the dust will settle on that, and I would stay at the forefront in that with that. I'd stay at the forefront of her mind by keeping the connection and the relationship going and cheering her on in this nonprofit, and just, telling her how impressed I am with her, with the, what she's working on, and just how much you respect that. I just would keep the relationship going. As far as the tap rooting part, though, I definitely think that is something to bring up. If she already loves the products and she's feeling very busy, then what I would personally say is, what are your thoughts on me sharing this with Susie and Michael? Like, I know you love your products. I know they could benefit. Right now, you don't have to put your time toward this. I don't need your time. I just need your network, essentially, is what you want to say to somebody that has influence, but they're not willing to give any time. is would you be okay if I go talk to these people, and that would help you because you'll make commissions off of their orders, and it helps me because it gives me people to expand my business with and more people I can help. What are your thoughts on me? Basically, you don't have to say it like this, but what are your thoughts on me tapping into your network? And just tell her that I don't need your time right now, just need your influence or your network, and tell her what's in it for her.
That's helpful because I did check back in with her and she wanted the recording from yesterday. So she's definitely very, very interested still. She's done network marketing before. She believes in the product. So that's really good. I'm going to have that conversation about, a little more in depth about, helping her people get started.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Great question, Nina. Amy, I see your question. Should the stories be of someone else? I mean, it doesn't have to. If you have an exact story, like if this person you're talking to is exactly like you, and like they would relate to every struggle or fear or challenge or like whatever objection is, and your lifestyle is just like theirs and your values are just like theirs. I mean, if you're a candidate for somebody that they would relate to, then share your own story by all means. But I think it's also incredibly helpful to have third party validation. There's something magical about third party validation. So yeah, if you can share your own story, that's a great place to start. But I still think even if you do share your own story, and like with, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, that whole bit. I think it's incredibly helpful to also provide third party validation with someone else's story who is just like you, just like her, just kind of, validate what you're saying. Like it's not just you trying to get her to do something. There are other people just like her who had the same problem or had the same thought, and they're doing it anyway. So I think you can.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like the people that they're saying they don't have time, they're not like me. And so I'm like, and they're going, I can't do what you do. Well, so I know that they're not relating. Even though they know that I care about them. They know that I'm understand where they're coming from because I'm talking to them daily on other things. I just need to figure out because it's a single mom, overwhelmed. Danny's who comes to mind. So I'm going to get Danny's story. And even her podcast. I don't know if y'all listened to her where she was on a podcast, but anyway, but just in that sense of, like you said, I can say all I want to, but it's like they're comparing themselves to me and it's just not helpful. So anyway, and I need to say this because I have to get this out.
Okay.
Just for anybody else that's feeling this way, I've not treated my business like a business. And my points are showing. So I don't need help in that. I know what I need to do, but I just need to get that out there that I know what my problems are. Oh, so it's out there. It's going to be fixed. And I hope anyone else that's struggling, look at yourself and see if you're really, truly handling your business like a business. Because I've not been.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Amy. And if you feel like somebody does not relate to you at all, I definitely think it's the smartest strategy to remove yourself from the equation altogether. If you feel like they're comparing themselves to you, and show them how other people who are not like you at all, and they actually are more like your prospect that you're talking to, they had the same problem, they can relate to them, and they're doing it anyway. So yes, if they're not like you at all, then don't let them think that they need to be more like you. Like show them how other people who are not like you are doing this anyway and being successful at it. All right, we have 3 minutes. Anybody have anything else?
I don't know if I can get through this in 3 minutes, but I'll try. So I have someone that is open to the business. I met her for coffee yesterday, and we talked a little bit about her why. She really wants time freedom. She currently nannies for a family who does not treat her very well. So I think she like very much like craves like recognition and acknowledgement of like her strengths, and she wants that time freedom. Her husband has a super flexible job. So he's able to kind of, take vacations and things like that, and she doesn't have that same flexibility. She watched Abby and April and Christina's webinar yesterday, and then she messaged me and said that she wanted to talk more today and that she'd get a hold of me. But now I'm like second guessing what my next step is. I feel like I do a great job of like getting the why and then like the actual action, like something happening. I don't know if I'm not like holding their hand enough at the beginning and I'm just like expecting them to know too much, or where to go from here. 1 second, please.
Well, it sounds like you're doing all the right things and that this conversation is progressing. So what's your fear? What's your actual fear?
I think it's I was telling Abby this yesterday on the phone. I have quite a few people that are open or interested in sharing, and they're like not seeing results, and I'm like second guessing if I know what I'm doing to develop a silver.
Oh, okay. So are you like guiding them through the mentorship guides and talking to them about it every day?
I feel like not every day because they're not as responsive as I would like them to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the mentorship. They're going through the guides. They're putting up some posts. They're sending some messages. Some of them have like a fear of messages, which we're working through. They don't want to be like pushy that way. But yeah, so now I have this Becky who's like interested. She watched the webinar. She said she loved everything about it. She's excited to talk to me today. And now I'm like, okay, what's my next step?
So
I don't know.
you mean next step as in like what action do I tell her to take? So I would
Yeah.
sell her on the value of the mentorship guides. And
Okay.
I would say step 1 is I'm going to add you to this Facebook group and I want you to look at guide 1 and then let's talk about it.
Okay. So it wouldn't even be like sending the messages yet or putting up a post. It would just be getting through that information first and making the list.
Well, yeah, that's what unless you sense that she is like fire engine red, no fear of what people think, ready to
Oh, no.
charge hell with a water pistol, just tell me what to do. Okay.
No, she told me that right out, that the one thing that would hold her back would be fear of like what
Okay.
other people think.
Mentorship. Yep. I would have her go through guide 1 and then you talk to her about, you connect with it. Like it does have action in there. So you go see what action it's telling her to take. But basically you sell her on the value of these guides. Like these guides, by the time you're done with them, you're gonna know exactly what to say to people without being pushy or salesy. You're gonna know, like it's gonna lay a solid foundation for you to develop a stream of income of at least $500 to $1,000 a month. And it gives you all the basics and the foundation that you need. There's literally everything you need to know. And I'm going to be there to support you every single step of the way. So start with guide 1 and then let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. And I have
Got
other
it.
thoughts on everything that you said, but I can go in the mentorship chat later and drop my other thoughts because I have back-to-back calls today. But great question, Miranda. And thank y'all for hopping on, and I will see y'all later. Enjoy your day. Bye.